Hey guys, what is up? So today I am doing a Big Finish collection update for August of 2018. This is a big one, so I'm super excited to do this today on the Doctor Who Guide. The best box set that you can buy for Doctor Who. Now, if you don't know, I collect Big Finish audios strictly on download. For me, it's cheaper, and I already have too much room taken up by my DVDs. Last year in October, which was my birthday, I got a ton of main range audios, so I'm super excited to show you guys those. Today, I also have a phone, which is cool. It's not a name brand or anything. Let me know your best Doctor Who app suggestions. So I've got now the Big Finish app, obviously, but I also have Hoovy and Amino. I have no idea how that works, so if somebody could explain that, that would be incredible. So yeah, I'm just gonna put on my Big Finish app. Hey guys, it's future Alex from the editing booth doing the voiceover, and I'm joined by my awesome brother, Tony Patterson, who is a brilliant musician. His channel will be linked in the description and in the card up above. He'll be playing some background music while I talk about the audios that we're looking at now. We are starting with the First Doctor, and as you can see here, the collection is pretty sparse. It's made up of lost stories mainly, some short trips here and there. I do hope to expand him, but I'm waiting for sales on the Companion Chronicles. That's really what's holding me back on these first several Doctors. I do have the that series of First Doctor Companion Chronicles of Volume 1, and that was really cool. I enjoyed that, plus the short trips rarities. So I'm excited to get more into Hartnell, but he's currently underserved. Now we're on to the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton. We're seeing like one Companion Chronicle and a bunch of lost stories, the short trips once again. Really looking forward to expanding that. The Shadow of Death from the Destiny of the Doctor series was a really good one. We've got one story that's not shown here, which is the Rose Mariners, who Jack Snelling kindly got that for me, which is why it's not showing up in my collection now. We're going on to the third Doctor, and I really love the Bluetooth. There is one swear in it though, but so just be warned there, but amazing story. Vengeance of the Stones, another brilliant third Doctor story. Oh, sorry, well, yes, but also the Mega is great too. And we've got rare short trips there, as well as Landbound from the awesome Paul Spragg Memorial Opportunity short trips annual competition, so that's really cool. We have the fourth Doctor. We've got one Companion Chronicle from him, and he's really my favorite Doctor, one of my favorite Doctors that I've collected the most of, along with the eighth Doctor. The Beautiful People, that's a good Companion Chronicle. The allegory is not hidden there. That's a pretty clear message, but it's just a really fun story. We're on to the fourth Doctor Adventures, which is really cool. The Wrath of the SCNI made me cry. Love it so much. It's just amazing that we get all these Tom Baker audios to listen to. He's so brilliant. Series 2 is starts off with the Auntie Matter, which is like a spin-off of of Worcester and Jeeves, which is just brilliant. Couldn't imagine anything better. Justice of Jalzar has Jago and Lightfoot in it. We'll get into them more, but I just love that we have Mary Tam as the first Romana, like with Tom Baker. That's so lovely and so precious that we got those. Series 3 has Leela in it, which is really great. I love Leela in the fourth Doctor, just brilliant. I really enjoy their series the most in these adventures. And so this is Series 3, really good series. I love the King of Sontar. That was a great one. Great to see the Sontarans with classic Doctor Who. We don't get enough stories with them. Philip Hinchcliffe Presents. Can't wait to dive into that era. I've only got that one box set though. And Season 4, which I have not listened to, but the covers look really, really cool. So that's really cool. Comment down below with your favorite audios from Big Finish. A lot of people are overwhelmed by the huge amount that there is to listen to, so give your best suggestions, starting points. You know, that would be really, really cool. Got some short trips to finish off the collection now, and we are heading into the fifth Doctor. The fifth Doctor era. I mean, as a Doctor, like, he's sort of in the middle ground for me. Like, I like him very much. I love cosplaying him, but again, I feel as though I don't appreciate him as much as I could, and so I'm very excited to dive into his Big Finish stories and see what they've done. Of course, I've got the main range here, all of his main range stories, and last year around my birthday, I just sort of like binge bought and completed the like 40 odd audios that I needed to get all of the main range 1 to 100. So excuse me, that was really cool. I'm just excited to dive into all of these. I'm not sure if I should do them in chronological order. I'll probably just do them in the order they were released. But that's exciting. We've got different ones with Perry, Nissa, Tegan, you know, just that general crowd. And so that's pretty cool. These audios are, I mean, the covers are just absolutely brilliant. Have to comment on that. The Gathering, that looks like a pretty cool Cyberman story. Circular Time, I see that come up in different timelines. It's just very cool how the 4 different stories are set at 4 very different points in the 5th Doctor's life. Return to the Web Planet, it's a special release. I got some short trips, some lost stories, which is very cool. I didn't really know much about the scripts that weren't made for the 5th Doctor era, so that's very nice. Now we're going on to the 6th Doctor once again, if I can find the menu screen, and starts off with the Sirens of Time and then the Whispers of Terror. And the Whispers of Terror, I think, is a story that really does a good job of taking good advantage of the audio format, and I love it when stories can do that, because yes, sometimes you just want a really good, better version of what a TV story is, and then other times you love it when they use Frobisher, by the way, sorry, you just love it when they use audio in a way that, like, you couldn't do it on TV, and that's something that really excites me. The Colin Baker's era, like, I can get into any Doctor, but generally he's the hardest to get into on TV, and so I just love the fact that Big Finish has really fleshed him out and made him, you know, taken him from some people's least favorite Doctor to favorite Doctor, like overnight. I love it. The Pirates, excuse me, that audio has singing in it, which I absolutely adore. Oh hey, that's Aaron from All Things Doctor Who messaging me about a Big Finish audio. You get a shout out because you timed that message just perfectly, my friend. So definitely check out All Things Doctor Who. Davros! I love seeing Davros in classic Doctor Who. Thank you, by the way, Tony. I didn't tell my brother how long I'd be doing this, but we're making headway. And Davros appearing in Big Finish is just so thrilling. I love his stories in Doctor Who, so seeing him in more Big Finish is just a real treat. At some point along the way, we've seen Colin Baker and more of the Cybermen and also the Silurians, which I'm really excited to see more of that. Got really interesting covers here. Some have pigs. That last one looked like it had the Tesseract on it from Marvel. We've got the Lost Stories, and these are more for people who enjoyed Colin Baker's era as the 6th Doctor on TV. You're going to especially love these stories. I wouldn't suggest these as stories for people who are trying to, like, get into liking the 6th Doctor more because they didn't in the TV show. Like, go for the main range, monthly range audios if you want to do that, or people can comment down below with the best examples of the 6th Doctor for Big Finish. But I think the Lost Stories are more for people who loved his TV era. For some reason, I'm not moving the screen much right now, but I'm sure we'll figure that out later. We've got the Guardians of Prophecy. It looked like it had Melkor, and some returning classic series characters, so that's really cool. 2 of the Voyage stories, they have Jago and Lightfoot in them, and then these are some later 6th Doctor audios from the main range that I couldn't resist. Master's Work, I've heard amazing things about it, and the Last Adventure box set, which is his last story, so I'll be saving that for last, but I've heard that that's amazing and sort of makes a good regeneration story, which Colin Baker never really got to have. We're on to the 7th Doctor, marching along there with his main range audios. I can't wait to get into the 7th Doctor. Like, to me, I'm not sure how possible it is to make me like the 7th Doctor more. Who knows, Big Finish may do that. So I'm just excited to listen to more of the 7th Doctor, especially as we get into the later ones with the companion Hex, and we see him in The Harvest. That might be his first story. Could be wrong about that. Correct me in the comments. But Hex is a character that, like, you really need to listen to all of his audios in order, so I definitely suggest doing that with the 7th and 8th Doctors. I think with the 5th and 6th you can sort of pick a little bit more, and by all means, I know there's some Big Finish experts and seasoned listeners, so comment down below, especially like a list of stories that need to be listened to with other audios and in what order. That would be amazing. I know you guys can do that for me, so thank you. We got some Lost Stories because the 7th Doctor era definitely would have continued, except it got cancelled, so that's quite cool. got a notification from a friend there. We Are the Daleks was a story that I got that, again, heard brilliant things about. A lot of people just rave about that. I think that's a Seventh Doctor's Chimes of Midnight or Spare Parts. That's just how good that story could be. Now we're on to my favorite Doctor from Big Finish, which is the 8th Doctor. We've got a lot of his main range monthly stories. So that's really cool to see. Invaders from Mars, super funny. I just absolutely love that story and the premise. The Chimes of Midnight, obviously a ton of people love it and there's a reason for that, but don't overhype yourself. There was a story there, which I can't, Seasons of Fear, incredibly underrated. I'm sad that it's overshadowed by Chimes of Midnight because it's so good. The scale is amazing. You can make a movie out of that. So yeah, as you can tell, I love the 8th Doctor. I've listened really only up to his first... I think around mid-20s stories, so I'm super excited to listen to more of his stories. He's definitely a Doctor you want to listen to in order. Not that you couldn't enjoy it popping around, but definitely in order, please, for this Doctor, if you want it to make sense. If you don't want it to make sense, you can just watch in any order you like. And so I'm very excited to get into that. I have listened to this next stage of the 8th Doctor's journey, which is the 8th Doctor Adventures. And Blood of the Daleks, that two-parter, it's a great place to jump in. And really, the 8th Doctor Adventures, I think, are a perfect mesh and mix of the new series and the classic series. Like, they mix those together really well. The first two series, you can pick and choose. Listen to the first and last generally each season has a two-part finale, so listen to the two-part finales and the first parts, but you can skip around the first few seasons. Seasons 3 and 4, you can't do that as much, especially season 4, just listen to all of it. And it is incredibly worth it. I love Scapegoat, I don't know why. We're and Done is incredible, and The Cannibalist is incredible. It's not what you think, and that makes it so brilliant. We've got the Series 8 finale, which is great. Series 8, the 8th Doctor Series 3 finale, which is great. And now we're into Series 4. Listen to those in order, every single one. And believe me, you're going to want to. There aren't really duds in here in this season. And I would suggest listening to all of the 8th Doctor Adventures. I just love them. But if you're not into it, you know, you can pick around a little bit more in the first few seasons. Listen to An Earthly Child before Relative Dimensions. Trust me, it'll pay off. Lucy Miller and To the Death. Possibly the best two audios I've heard in Big Finish so far. They are incredible. The emotion, they just rip your heart out, and just I loved it so much. Best finale ever. You gotta listen to it. Makes it worth listening to the entire 4 series. So I love it. Doom Coalition 1 is the only box set for the 8th Doctor that I have. I do want to get into Dark Eyes and Ravenous and all of the other lovely series, but Doom Coalition I really did enjoy. And now we're on to the home stretch with the 9th Doctor, Night of the Whisper. I cried at that audio, and then this was a free part 1, the first story of the Churchill years. So yeah, not much to expand for the 9th Doctor, but I do want to. Death Steel, that's my only 10th Doctor audio, and The Time Machine is my only 11th Doctor audio. So I did enjoy both of those. Now we're going to look more at the expanded era. Countermeasures, that was like a free thing in a sale, so that's the only one I have there. I do have the first series of Cyberman stories, which I've heard good things about, and I can't wait to dive into it. It'll be very interesting to see spin-offs like Dalek Empire that don't actually have the Doctor in it, and like Cyberman. So Dalek Empire actually has a bunch of Doctor Who actors in it. I believe David Tennant and Noel Clarke are in this, so that's really cool. The incredibly creatively named second series, which was Chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, really, they were almost too creative for me and my taste there. So yeah, this will be an interesting series, because I would imagine it's very much focused or centered around Daleks, which is really cool. Speaking of things centered around the Doctor's enemies, we've got some special releases right here, but coming up next, I believe, is I, Davros, but we'll get to that in a second. That's centered around Davros, which I love. Stage plays, mixed reviews on those. We have the Unbound series, which really deals with some really cool scenarios of what would happen if, for each sort of different character. You know, what if the Valiard had won and stuff. So that's very cool. This is Series 9 is the only series of Gallifrey that I have, so I'm not going to be listening to that anytime soon until there's a sale, which I hope. And then we have I, Davros, and this, I listened to that story twice in one day. It was very good, and I really enjoyed it. I was distracted with like a nose surgery, so that was why I listened to it twice. It wasn't quite as good to listen like back to back, but the Iris Wildtime spin-off series, that's gonna be interesting. I've mainly got this for completion. I'm not too excited about it, but I'm willing to check it out. Who knows, maybe I'll fall in love with it. I do like pandas on the cover. That's pretty cool. Jago and Lightfoot, the Mahogany Murders, definitely listen to that with Series 1. And then I have Series 2 and 3 from Audible. And I've got Series 4 and Series 5 as well, so I can't wait to listen to that. I've really been enjoying the audios. Benjamin and Baxter is interviews with the lovely actors who play them. It's incredible. Then we have the Sarah Jane Smith audios. I wish we could have had Tom Baker and Sarah Jane and Elizabeth Sladen in an audio series together, but sadly it wasn't to be. But we do have these lovely audios here. There is one that's not available even as download on the Big Finish website, so I'm just gonna have to track that down. We have Unit the Coup, not the Coop. It's not dealing with a bunch of revolting chickens. And by revolting chickens, I don't mean like a bad order of KFC. I mean like chickens putting up a revolt for the coup. Anyway, I digress. Unit is a spin-off series that, again, I just wanted to complete. And then finally we have Vienna. I'm not really too excited about this. I just want it for completion's sake because I'm a completionist and I love Big Finish. And thank you so much, Tony, for playing during this entire time. What a wonderful job. His channel will be linked up above. Definitely click to subscribe to him for more lovely music. Thank you and goodbye.